Hey man, what's going on with all y'all, man? Hope you all enjoying your Sunday wherever you're watching this from. All right, so I just happened to be watching, I guess, the Standard is the Standard. It was some dude I used to be on the Behind the Steel Curtain little podcast. I used to watch it here and there. This guy named Lance Williams. He just made the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. He's seen enough from Dwayne Haskins to tell you that Dwayne Haskins will be the starter for the Steelers in 2022. So he watched basically one preseason game because they said he didn't look good in the Hall of Fame game against the Cowboys. So one preseason game over in 100 degrees where the Eagles defense will suffer from heat exhaustion against guys that ain't gonna be playing on Sundays, man. They won't even be lucky to make a practice squad. And that's going to tell you everything you need to know. And here's my analogy. To everybody said that's all for Haskins starting over Rudolph. I never said Rudolph was going to be the next guy. All I'm telling you right now is that Rudolph's numbers are better in the league. So at the end of the day, if Rudolph is trash, then what's Haskins? So, and here was my argument. Okay, should Jalen Samuels start over Najee Harris? Remember, Najee Harris hasn't scored a touchdown. Jalen Samuels had more yards and scored a touchdown. So what is it? That same defense that Dwayne Haskins looked so great against, so did Jalen Samuels. That defense made Jalen Samuels look like Derrick Henry. King Henry, as what they call him. So what's that mean? You know, remember, Jalen Samuels, 4th, 5th string on the chopping block. Now all of a sudden, so what? You're not saying that. Again, like I'm going to say this again. All I can say is let's see Dwayne Haskins against first-team defenses, first-stringers, man, and then judge him, and then let him be out with our guys. That's all I can tell you, man. I mean, Mason's what 14 of 18. The only negative right now are he's not finishing off drives, for whatever stalling out. It's a penalty, a drop, a sack, whatever the case may be. That's it. So that's the only argument you can say. But again, he's facing guys that you're going to be seeing on Sundays. Okay, when you can't compare what Mason Rudolph, you know who he's facing? I mean, to me, he's facing all pros, perennial former Pro Bowlers. I'm sure y'all know we had Javon Hargrave, okay, Pro Bowl nose tackle. We've had, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Steve Nelson, played for us. Darius Slay, former Pro Bowler. Those are the guys he's playing against, just to name a few. And these ain't just NFL guys. These guys have been all pros at some point in their career and still can play at a high level. Nobody can name any of the guys that Dwayne Haskins was playing against on defense. The commentators even said they weren't subbing them out. Why was that? So they were completely gassed. And at the end of the day, Canada's play calling was real vanilla for Rudolph, and it was basically just drop back and pass. If you noticed, for Haskins, they were still act like they still had the training wheels on. Take the training wheels off, bro. He literally was. They were doing a lot of runs. It was basically off the run. It even made McFarland look like a superstar. McFarland was chewing up. McFarland couldn't even get out of his own way last year. He'd have a hole. He'd run into his own tackle, run into his own blocker, and fall down. He even looked good against them. So if that's not again and. Samuels, like I said, I've always liked him, but he's soft. So when he's running over people, so like that tells you all you need to know. He's not doing any of that. If he was in there where Najee was and going up against a front line, like I said, Cox, Hargrave, Brandon Graham, he's not doing nothing against those guys. He's lucky to sniff the line of scrimmage. Okay, so again, the competition matters. That's like saying, pretty much. Well, Dwayne Haskins, Mason Rudolph was having guys like T.J. Watt coming after him. Now all of a sudden, Dwayne Haskins has guys like Cassius Marsh. Those guys, it's night and day, man. So again, I've been here. Oh well, let's see him start against. That's what we need to see. Let him start against first stringers. Again, and for people to keep saying, Rudolph's a bum. Well, again, okay. Say he is a bum. What's that make Haskins? What has Haskins done in this league at all? The proof's in the pudding. He's 4-12, 12 touchdowns and 14 picks. And I don't want to hear it's Washington. Washington went to the playoffs last year and got better when they benched him. Okay? He got beat out by a 6th-round pick. The guy's 6th-round picks basically did more in 2 games than Haskins did in 2 years. Okay? So I'm not saying, like I said, Rudolph's thing is inconsistent, not finishing off drives. We've known that. But again, Haskins hasn't done anything either. So again, just to anoint this guy saying he did something in a preseason game that nobody cares about, that again, the intensity's not ramped up. When you watch games when the regular season starts, it's a whole different speed, a whole different intensity, a whole different ball game. Okay? Nobody cares about preseason. It's not played at the same level. There's no game planning involved. There's no nothing. It's vanilla plays. See what they can do. So again, look at, and I'll just say, look at the throws. Look at the quality of throws between Rudolph and Haskins. I'll say this much. Again, Haskins is more mobile. Let's be real. It's not hard to be more mobile than Rudolph. That was the one thing I was worried about coming out, watching tape of him in Oklahoma State. He just didn't have the mobility, and he did. It just didn't look fluid. I was worried about that. That was the one negative that I was worried about. But Haskins ain't no, like I said, no Lamar Jackson. No, he can't move like that either. Okay, he was able to get out escape the pocket against a defense that was gassed. But let me tell you something. Look at the throws in the window. How the tighter window. Look at the windows that Mason was thrown into, the tight spaces, compared to Haskins. Those are a lot harder throws and tight windows that Mason was thrown into and completing passes than and that's the difference. In the NFL, there's a difference between NFL open and college open. You got to throw guys open sometimes that are not basically in college where, it's a whole different ballgame. And that's where I'll compare first stringers to your third and fourth stringer guys that won't make the roster and won't be playing on Sundays. The windows that Haskins was throwing to, these guys were wide open. And plus, he was aided by like 3 or 4 blown coverages on defense. And he's supposed to hit those. And anyway, if he's a top 15 pick, a first-round pick, he should be, and again, he needs to make those throws. Okay? So again, but it wasn't like he's making these tight window passes with coverage, with coverage right there. And he's not. Rudolph actually made a nice back shoulder throw 35 yards to Deontay Johnson where the guy was trailing maybe by a yard. But again, you're not going to have, like I said, there's a difference between NFL open and college open. And that's what I compared that game to. Haskins was throwing the guys that were almost like college open, like wide open, compared to Rudolph, where he's facing first-team defense and first-string cornerbacks, and those windows are a lot tighter. He's throwing a lot tighter spaces. The throws are a lot tougher to make those throws and completions. And he's 14 to 18 or 14 to 19 so far. So again, it's efficient. Obviously, we'd like to see him finish off the drives. But like I said, if that's the case, would anybody in the world say, let's start Jalen Samuels over Najee Harris? Same difference. Najee hasn't scored yet. Najee might, again, Samuel scored, maybe had more yards, but whatever. But who cares? They're going against guys that ain't going to be playing in the league. And it's not. And for Haskins to be a first-round pick, he should be chewing them up. He should. He should be. But at the same time, they talk about. They seem like they're not even confident even when calling the plays. Look at the calls they're calling. It was majority of the runs. It was mainly running the ball that got their score drop, and then they would hit them here like a play action here or there. They weren't having Haskins just drop back. So that shows you right there that Cannon was more confident in Mason as far as throwing the ball than he was in Haskins. Just look at the play calls. Totally different. So, look. And then they keep bringing this race thing in there. It's got nothing to do with race, man. Like I said, I would have been fine. I would have been happy if the Steelers would have, and would have traded up to get Justin Fields. To me, he's going to be the one out of who I say he is 10 times the player that Haskins is, okay? Like I said, that dude, and I was kind of like, he can't throw a football myself. I was like, he's trash. But you know what? He proved me wrong. Like I said, you know what? If I'm wrong, I'll say it. And he looked good in that Clemson, basically that semifinal game, whatever. He looked great. Everybody was talking about Lawrence. He came out through like 6-7 touchdowns, and that wasn't just it that impressed me. It was when he got hurt and then playing through that injury showed how tough the guy was. And he finished it off, and he put up he had a good performance against Alabama. Ultimately lost, but again, he battled all the way through. So he showed me the kid's got heart. So he actually can move. He's solid and can throw a football like that or whatever. So again, but at the same time, like I knew the Steelers weren't going to waste draft capital because in their mind, oh, this guy's a first round pick, and we got him for nothing, so we won't have to waste draft capital, and we got it. So of course, that's what they have to weigh. How much would they have to give up to get Fields when they are able to get Haskins with basically for nothing? But still, I don't care. To me, Haskins, again, that was a reach. To me, he'd be like a third or fourth round prospect. Whatever. Again, you look at the stats for Great Ohio State. Well, guess what? The Big Ten's weak as shit, man. Weak as fuck, bro. Ohio State's the only good team in the Big Ten. Michigan State, Michigan have all fell off. Wisconsin, they're no good anymore. Not what it used to be. It's a weak conference. So again, obviously he would have been in like the SEC. The numbers probably wouldn't have been nowhere near as what they were. Okay, he's not facing your Alabamas, LSU's, Georgia's, Florida's, those type of defenses. He's not facing that. Okay, you're facing Indiana's, you know what I mean, Purdue, you know what I mean, shit like Iowa, you know what I mean. Teams to me that, you know what I mean. I mean they're average, but I mean it's just a whole nother level. Okay. And that's why I said about the Ohio. I think Justin Fields does have an opportunity. If I was Chicago, I'd be starting him right now. There ain't no starting Andy Dalton. He's not your future, man. You're wasting time. Get this kid on the field and let him learn. That's how you learn. Again, you learn from your mistakes. Let the kid fail. He'll learn from it. If he fails at all, let him get on the field, man. You know, you're wasting time by putting him on the bench. So it wasn't like we traded up for that. And like I even said. You know, this is not gonna. It's not gonna work. So, and again, like I said, I told you, I reiterated to my boy. You know, shout out to Tommy G. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, y'all want to talk about, and guess what? You know, like he said, and he's black. Dwayne Haskins is a bum. Period. And they're all hoping the same thing too. The Bengals, the Browns, and the Ravens all hope that Dwayne Haskins is our future and our starter because we know where we're gonna end up. We're going to end up in last place, AFC North, in the basement, staying in the basement. We'd had the worst quarterback. And I actually would agree with Mike Tannenbaum. At that point, we would have the worst quarterback in the AFC North. No doubt about it. So, there it is. Like I said, when you got a Ravens fan that's telling you that Ben Roethlisberger will be better in a wheelchair than Dwayne Trashkins, that's all you need to know. I mean, he said he'd be more scared of Ben Roethlisberger in a wheelchair than he would be a Dwayne Haskins. I mean, come on. So, and that's another thing. Dwayne Haskins couldn't even succeed in the NFC East, man. They ought to call it the NFC least. The AFC North, in my opinion, is the best division in football, the most competitive and the most toughest division in football. So if he couldn't look good there, how's he going to look good in the AFC North? I don't see it, man. I ain't going to see it. And like I said, I know Washington fans, and they're glad he's gone. And you know what? It's so much. It's a race. No, it's like people want this guy to be a savior. The guy hasn't done anything in this league. He has. I mean, where's the hope coming from? Like, these people are raving over a preseason game. And y'all remember AI? It's practice. It's practice. This is preseason. And you snap like this kid's done something. Come on. Preseason. Everybody threw Landry Jones, right? He's a bum, right? He actually came in and won a season finale. He actually came in and won a couple games when he was hurt. Like I said, Mason's won a few games in the regular season. And we're talking about because Dwayne Haskins looked good against backups in preseason. And we know, like you said, nobody said Mason was a franchise. Nobody said Landry Jones was ever. These guys, I'm not saying none of that. But when you're just jumping the gun and saying Dwayne Trashkins is better and he's already the proofs in the pudding and that his stats are way better, what stats are way better? What? Like I said, Mason's got a better win-loss record and they think he's got 15 touchdowns and 10 picks. The others do 12 touchdowns and 14 picks. So there you go. And I don't know, what's Mason, 5-3 or 5-4 as a starter? Whatever. Still was a winning record compared to this guy's 4-12. 4-12, man. And you know what? That's probably what you're looking at. I'll get, whatever. Lucky to get 6-7 wins, man. At his best, right? More at that 4 or 5 level. So, again, when you're talking to the enemies, and you know people, and you know people that like the same teams in your division, and they're hoping that Dwayne Haskins. That tells you all you need to know. These people are biased, and that's another thing too, bro. I get a lot of hate. A lot of hate for Mason has nothing to do with him on the field. And like I said, I mean, the elephant in the room's got to be addressed, man. Okay? They're calling him MAGA Mason. They bringing politics into this shit. It has nothing to do with what he does on the field, bro. It's all about what Myles Garrett accused him of. Myles Garrett is a dirty player. He's a scumbag. He's a dirtbag. Okay? And he got his ass whooped by Pouncey, bro. Period. You think Marquise Pouncey, if Rudolph would have used that, or whatever, would have sat there and went to his defense? Man, he didn't even blink. He was there. And he said he didn't think, if you would have thought for a second that Mason said that, he knew 100% that Mason never said anything like that. Even Tom and the whole organization backed him up wholeheartedly. Again, Garrett was trying to use the race card to manipulate the whole situation to get the heat on Mason, the heat off of him. That's what the deal was. I got even a video of a Browns fan posting in slow-mo of when Ogunjobi pushed Rudolph down. Ogunjobi's black. He called him a bitch. So if he's calling Garrett the N-word, he'd have been calling Ogunjobi the same thing. It didn't happen, bro. So all that is where this is coming from. That's what's going on here. So at the end of the day, when you got these same people saying, oh, Mason's a bum, at the end of the day, they also have a hate for Mason that has nothing to do with football. So basically, they're biased. They're biased against him. So really, their opinion ain't coming from football. Their opinion is coming from the hate they have against Mason. Period. So, and I don't have none of that. Like I said, I ain't got nothing against Haskins at all. I was hoping to see something different. I said that's no problem. It's a no risk, high reward situation. But all I've seen is the same thing I've seen in Washington. I haven't seen anything that's changed my mind. Whatever. He had a couple third down conversions, and the roll, I'll give it to him. He rolled out like that or whatever and bought time. That was fine. But everything else was pretty much the same. And I want to see him doing it against better competition when you be facing on Sundays in the NFL. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not ready to hand him the keys to the car. As far as I'm concerned, the way everything is looking, I want to draft our real future franchise quarterback at this point. Right now, either one hasn't proved it to me that they're going to be the next franchise who I want to watch as a Steelers starting quarterback. And I ain't biased against either one of them. Okay? Like I said, you see my videos on here, flipping out bench Mason and all that. So that has nothing to do with that. But the thing is, there's a race thing going on here just because, and then the thing is, what's sick about it is you got these so-called Steelers fans. We're happy and we're laughing when that clown Garrett's basically smashed his helmet on top of Rudolph's head. Like, how are you a Steelers fan and you believe what he says and you are happy about this? That shows you right there. Y'all ain't Steelers fans, bro. Listen to all that, man. And do your research. Don't rush the judgment before you. Do your research. Don't rush the judgment before you say, hey, he said this and said that. You weren't there. Like I said, I got video of this or whatever. So, again, you all sitting there talking about, oh, he said this and he said that. Well, for what? Where's the proof? There ain't no proof. So you jumping up and down because you think he used a racial slur. Like I said, at the end of the day, Marquise Pouncey, everybody in the Steelers, from top to bottom in the whole organization, didn't even blink. They backed up Rudolph 100%. All right, because he didn't say this. He never said this shit, man, or whatever. Okay. Pouncey and all of them said they had to do it again. They would have done it again. They wouldn't blink. They didn't hesitate. They came right to his defense. They're not going to do that if Mason was that type of dude saying these type of things, bro. It's sick. Again, or whatever. I mean, that Rudolph. Basically, that Garrett was slandering. I'm using the race card to slander this man's name and slander this man's character. Okay, he didn't say it right off the bat. Garrett waited, and then all of a sudden he told you that whatever. Again, that was knowing the world that we're living in today, and how everybody, again, they could just say things that change the whole narrative. That's all he did. Use a fake narrative, use a false narrative that changed everything around. So that way, the heat's off him for hitting him in the head with a helmet. Now everybody's like, oh, Mason's the one who did. Yo, he said that. That's why he did it. He was trying to justify his actions at the time before the suspension came down to lower his suspension. He was trying to right his wrongs, man. People need to know this. Myles Garrett is a straight bitch. Period. Okay? Like I said, he got his fucking ass whooped by Pouncey. Okay? He's a punk. Straight punk. Just like all them other Browns are punks. Okay? Straight up. That's why I don't go to the game. You know why I don't go to games, bruh? You know why I game? Because I don't need to get locked up for fucking somebody up. That's why the fuck I don't go to fucking games, yo. You gonna fucking stand that shit? Okay? And guess what? If y'all don't think so, guess what? I challenge all of y'all. Any one of y'all. Period. You better go look at my motherfucking background. You better check my fucking stats, motherfucker. Period. I don't play fucking games, yo. That's the thing. That's why I watch the game by myself. I watch the game by myself. You know why? Because I don't need, you know what? And that's why I say I argue with more Steelers fans than I do anybody else. It don't matter if it's the same people. Because if they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, I don't want them around me. I watch every play and I analyze every play by myself. I'm into the game. I don't need to be there with a bunch of drunks running their motherfucking mouth, not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. Okay? Because I don't need to knock somebody the fuck out and put them to sleep. Okay? I've already caught a charge for doing that dumbass shit. I'm not looking for that. At all. At all. That's why. Because you got people that are casuals, that are novices at this game, and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I do this. I do this shit. Okay? I've been in the sports all my life. Played it, watched it the whole nine. That's my passion. I don't get on here just talking dumb shit. I do my homework. I do my research. I watch. I don't just rush to judgment. Okay? And I got news for you. All the same ones who are saying how Tom... The thing is, what's going to happen here is, if this truly happens and Haskins ends up being the 2022 starter, if for whatever reason he does, or whatever, like I told you, I made you the 3 guarantees. Tomlin would have his first losing season. We would finish in last place at AFC North. And Dwayne Haskins is the worst quarterback in AFC North at that point. Okay? And I'll bet I ain't went amount of money on this shit. I don't give a shit. Okay? Whatever. And that's facts. So, I mean, I'm sick of this, man. The guy hasn't done anything, bro. What has he shown you? Oh, I don't care about Ohio State. That's not the NFL. Whatever. None of them done anything. As far as I'm concerned, at this point right now, we need to draft our next quarterback. If it's trade up, whatever we got to do, we got to do. Okay? I don't want to. That's the sad thing. The way we got Ben, we had to go through a 6-10 losing season to be able to get up the 11th pick, be in range and position to draft without having to trade up. I don't want to. If you're a Steelers fan, you don't want to go through losing seasons and act like that and have to watch that for a couple years to be able to have a high enough draft pick to draft your next franchise for the build for the future. I don't want to watch that. And all these fucking clowns want to see Dwayne Haskins start. Well, guess what? Well, how long it starts, that's how long we're going to be losing. Okay? Washington wised up and they cut their ties, and at least I'll give it to them. They credit, hey, you know what? We made a mistake. We made a mistake. It's not just one incident at the strip club with a mask off. It was multiple things. And plus the guy didn't have the talent he thought he was. Daniel Snyder didn't want him anyway. He wanted Daniel Jones, okay? And let's be real. Call spade a spade. He knows the DC demographic. He drafted Dwayne Haskins because he was a local kid. He thought, hey, I'll bring optimism, and it was marketing purpose, put people in the seats. So that's why they did whatever. It give them hope. Well, guess what? Those same people that had hope in the first couple years, ask them what they think about Dwayne Haskins now. Ask them. You think I'm talking bad about Haskins? Ask people who are fans of DC or live in DC about Dwayne Haskins. Where do you think he got the name Trashkins from, huh? Where do you think? Okay, so that's all right. Call them racist. So when you got somebody black saying how bad he is, and way worse things than I'm saying, what's that make? So are they racist too? Guess what? What? I don't care about race. The NFL is 70% black as it is anyway. If that's the case, I wouldn't watch football and waste my time. It has nothing to do with that. Never nothing to do with race, man. Okay, like I said, I was a fan and advocate and supporter of Cordell Stewart when everybody was trashing him. Yeah, he did negative things, but he also took 2 teams as a quarterback, our teams, the AFC Championship games. Like I said, Dwayne won't even take us to the playoffs. So, it has nothing to do with that, man. And one of my favorite Steelers of all time is Joey Porter. Okay, he's black. I'm sick of hearing this shit. I grew up in the hood. I've been in the hood. Whatever. Okay, I don't need to hear about this shit about if you're white and you got an opinion against somebody. It has nothing to do with it, man. I'm sick of hearing that shit, bro. Sick of that race card. I'm sick of the society we live in. I'm sick of all of it, bro. Okay, show me what this dude's done. Show me what this dude's done to get automatic. I mean, That's like saying, like I said, I wouldn't want to see Josh Rosen or Sam Darnold on the team either. They suck too. And they were, guess what, higher picks than Trashkins. Darnold was number 3, and what, Rosen was number 10. And they're trash. I didn't want them either, okay? And they're white. So it has nothing to do with that, bro. The guy hasn't shown me nothing, and he ain't ever going to show anybody nothing. But you know what? I hope you get all what you want. Hope he starts. And guess what? When y'all fail, or when he fails, and I can laugh at you, and then you can suffer. And that's the thing. These motherfuckers, these are the real racists. They'd rather have him quarterback for whatever reason, because they don't like Mason, because for whatever, all the bullshit lies, more fake news. They'd rather lose with Dwayne than rather win or possibly win with Mason or anybody else. That's how sick these people are. Okay? That's what it is. It has nothing to do with anything. It's them. They're the racists. They're the ones only pressing. Let me tell you something. These same people, if Dwayne Haskins was white, they wouldn't be saying this same shit. I bet my every penny I have. They would not be clamoring for him, doing anything positive about him. Okay? This is all they're making this color thing. I'm talking just football. I don't care off the field shit. I only care what you do on Sundays and help us win. I want to stay competitive. I want to be able to have when I wake up on Sundays, be optimistic and have a good knowing that, hey, you know what? We have a good chance to win every time we take the field. With Dwayne Haskins, ask a Redskins fan or whatever. Ask them if they ever felt confident or they optimistic when they woke up on Sundays with Dwayne Haskins as starting quarterback, if they were going to win that day. That's one. At least with Ben, every time Ben takes the field, I feel good about our chances. I'll never say that with Haskins. It's almost like, you know what I mean? What's the point of watching? Because you know what you're going to be watching. All right. Yo, sorry for this long-ass rant, man, but, yo, this shit's pissing me off, man. And then, actually, no, fuck it, I ain't sorry, yo. I don't give a fuck what nobody fucking thinks. If you don't like it, fuck your opinions, yo. And peace the fuck out.